Breaking news. Holy cow.
All right, breaking news. We're recording, yes?
I have hit the record button just before that, actually. As of 24 seconds ago, CBS All Access announces a new series, Star Trek: Strange New Worlds, based on the 5-year mission of Captain Christopher Pike, manning the helm of the USS Enterprise.
All right, then.
Rebecca Romijn, Anson Mount, Ethan Peck will all return for the series.
Okay.
It will be the decade before Captain Kirk arrives on the Enterprise as his number one. Pike's number one. Good Lord, what good timing.
There's
a video that goes with this. I'm going to try and find the Twitter link here real quick. Ask your question.
I guess it's like spoilers then, because there's a few people mentioned there who I haven't seen in Discovery yet.
Yes, you've seen. So Ethan Peck plays Spock. So
I knew he was in it, right? Because
I don't think it's spoilers. It may be a prequel to what we're seeing.
Well, it is, but I haven't seen Rebecca Romijn in this series yet.
Oh.
So, yeah,
Did
not
I
really
say
spoilers.
who she was? Because I don't have to say the spoiler.
No, you haven't, and don't, please, because I don't know who she is at the moment.
Okay.
I'm not watching this video either, just to let you know.
Oh, there's a video of Anson Mount, Captain Pike, talking about it, if you want to see it.
Okay. Look, cool.
Okay.
This
Wow.
podcast is topical sometimes.
Wow. No, but I mean, that's amazing timing. The
Andrew,
tweet literally says, red alert.
Andrew, we planned it. Come on, dude. You're ruining the facade.
Yes, we clearly had.
We knew secret insider information that we definitely had.
That we should record this morning. Man, I'm so excited. Hi, welcome to the podcast. This is our Subspace transmission. I don't remember the number. It's been a minute since we've been back. We took a little, not a hiatus, recording hiatus. The pods are still coming on time.
Yeah,
I'm still drinking my coffee. Sorry. But we finished Picard, and we kind of finished all those at the same time. So it's been a minute since we've talked some Star Trek, buddy.
Mm-hmm.
I have a question for you. Do you follow the Star Trek Twitter account?
No.
Okay. There's one of those if you have $15 things on here.
Oh, okay. Link me this. I'll do this.
Okay. I didn't know if we wanted to do this live.
There's only several good choices.
There seems to be a lot of people missing, and therefore it makes it very easy. Okay. I won't link you the Twitter account, so you won't. I don't want you to see the Twitter
copy the
account.
link to the tweet.
No. Okay, the tweet, yes, because the Twitter account would spoil who Rebecca Romijn is. Because there's a picture of her, but she's not in this picture. Only. Yes, you're safe looking at this picture.
Open the tweet. Come on, Star Trek. Here we go. Alrighty, here we go.
That's a pretty good $5 row. I'd have to say.
Wow.
I'm just gonna come out and say it. I like people in the $1 row, but I think you got to leave the $1 row alone.
Yeah, there's no one I want in the $1 row.
Here's my problem.
Actually, there are some people in the $2 row who should trade places with people in the $1 row.
I agree. Just take a minute though, and notice that this is my problem with this 15. The $1 row contains the only 2 engineers.
Prip.
Tilly.
Tilly's not even. She's like
an
half.
engineer. Yeah, I mean,
she's on her way to being an engineer.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, she wants to leave engineering to go to.
Yeah, where the hell's Geordi? Where's Scotty?
Where's Scotty? Where is Scotty?
You got to put Scotty in like the $4 or $5 row range because he's saving everyone's neck all the time.
He's a 3 or up for sure. I mean, I might swap him if you put him in as a 4. You could probably move down like, well, Joe. I don't know. Can a captain be a $3 captain? Yeah, Worf's a captain, so I guess you can move Archer down.
You can just take Raffi off the list. No one wants her. So.
Oh yeah, I mean literally. Why is McCoy on a $2 row?
Yeah,
I don't know about that.
Yeah.
I don't know. I have a tough time with this crew. I kind of would want to pick just 3 captains, but then But then you have the problem of you have 3 captains.
Yeah, that'd be tough to navigate. And see, I think the trap here. So I think the trap is you're going to want to get Data, but you actually don't want Data. I think Data's a bad choice here.
Really? I always want Data. See, that's the thing. I was going to say.
You think you want him, but you don't.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you think it'd be like, oh, like having Data around in the quarantine would be so useful. He'll have all this information and stuff. It's like, bro, you got the internet. You don't need Data.
Oh, that's true.
Data is just going to annoy you with his like immunity to the virus and the fact that he can just go around spouting off statistics and stuff at you all the time.
But Data would sit there and play cards with you, or I mean, this is kind of a selfish way to look at it, I think.
Yeah.
Okay, so if we think Data's a trap.
I think he is. Okay. You're welcome to pick Data if you want.
No. If we think Data's a trap, then Spock is also a trap.
Yeah.
Because he would probably end up more annoying than Data.
Yeah, Spock is just going to sit there and meditate for 6 weeks, and you're not going to really talk to him at all.
There's really no clue here whether this is spoilers for Star Trek, Prime or Terran Giorgio, so we can't take that chance.
Yeah, I wouldn't be picking her. Yeah.
Well, all right, so that really leaves you. I like Jonathan Archer. That wouldn't be a terrible choice. We could leave him on the list, but that leaves you with Riker as the only choice in the $4 row.
Yeah, basically.
You have to take Riker, and that's okay.
You have to pick Riker.
You have to
exactly.
pick Riker.
Like you probably won't Riker anyway. So yeah.
Yeah, he can make a mean pizza, dude.
Yeah.
Right. So if you've got a Riker, and you're at the $4 row, and we really, I mean, I guess we could take Tucker in the $1 row. Or number 1 if we had to. But my question is, does that mean you have to take a $4 and a $2 and a $5 and skip the $3 entirely?
Well, so it comes down to like, if you think you're going to skip the $1 row, right?
I don't have any. I mean, Trip Tucker's fine. And Tucker and Riker probably would get along pretty well.
Sure, you get a fun poker game there, right? But like,
sure.
If you were skipping the $1 row, it also means you probably can't go with the $3 row.
Right.
Because the odd stuff makes it hard to work out. It also makes it hard to buy just 1 5.
Yeah.
Unless you're going to do like a 5, a 3, and a 2, and no Riker.
That's what I'm telling you, man. But there's a lot of 2s I don't want either. I'll take a Dax or a McCoy, though.
Yeah, I think Dax and McCoy are the best choices in row 2 there.
Okay, so your best choices in row 3. Hold on. Row 3 is all good, maybe.
Yeah, I think almost everyone in row 3 is interesting. I don't know about T'Pol, but like I think
T'Pol
everyone
is more
else...
interesting than Spock. Well, maybe more interesting. T'Pol is so much more logical than Spock, obviously, because she's not half human.
Half human, yeah. I think
she's
almost everyone
benign,
in row
right?
3... Yeah, she would end up meditating for 6 weeks, and you wouldn't really talk with her that much. Which,
right. But she'd be there if you were like, T'Pol, I'm having a bad day, and she'd just be like, time is a construct, dude. And you're like, okay, got it, thank you.
Your feelings don't matter anyway,
exactly.
So like, thanks, T'Pol.
Yeah.
I mean, but yeah, like Worf would be a good time, Seven would be a good time, Uhura would be a great time. Bashir is a good time. All those people are good. So row 3 is like very strong.
I have a question about Worf, right?
It might ruin your house.
That's the thing. And like halfway through quarantine, he's going to move the furniture against the walls without asking and just start batlething in the middle of a room.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want that? Because that's what you got to be prepared for.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's not, I don't know. I mean, I don't say no to that. 7 of 9 would probably have equal problems, right? She's going to start like pestering you with requests to learn things. It depends on where you are with 7 of 9. This looks like a Discovery
so like
picture, actually. So maybe
a Picard picture. So like that's the thing too, is some of these characters is like, do you get them during the Picard time? Because if so, I have to pick different people.
Yeah.
Because like, do I want the Picard pictured here?
No,
I don't. And so then I'm going to pick Benjamin Sisko.
Yeah.
If Riker is fine, because actually this Riker is maybe better than the hornier one. So that's probably good.
This is the good Riker, I think.
And then, and then Uhura and Bashir, these are the two you want anyway. So there you go. That's my 15.
Oh, there you go. That's a pretty good 15. I think Janeway really needs Chakotay, doesn't she?
I think Janeway is a fine choice here.
Yeah.
But yeah, with not a lot of like Voyager support in the other positions here, it'd be pretty tough. Like you're not. I don't get the feeling that like Janeway and Neelix are like huge bros. You know,
I don't want that.
And
I don't want Neelix ever.
Yeah, you could get 7.
It's not his fault, but no, thank you.
Right? Yeah. It's not. Yeah, the character wasn't great.
He's okay. He's fine, but like, I don't need a story every day of quarantine. Sometimes I'm just gonna want to be left alone.
Yeah, exactly. And like, if you get 7, right, is the other person in that Voyager orbit. Not a lot of Voyager on this list, really, is what I'm saying.
There's a lot of stuff missing from this list. A lot. There were people I would not have put on here.
Yeah, that are on here for sure.
That are way on here. Like, why is number 1 on here?
Yeah, the dog absolutely.
The dog
is
taking up a spot. Why is
there
Scotty
are lots
not
of
there?
valuable people here that you could. Well, you couldn't put Scotty down there though.
No, but like you could move Saru down. You could move T'Pol down. You could move Archer or Giorgio down, which is terrible to say because Giorgio's awesome, but
she is.
She's not maybe a 4-star yet. We haven't finished season 2. And maybe that's the lead in here. I think I end up with Riker, Dax? Riker, Dax. That's 6. So then I need 9. Or so maybe as it stands, it's Riker, McCoy, Giorgio, Sisko? I want older Kirk.
Yeah. You like movie Kirk?
I want movie Kirk. I don't want this Kirk.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So maybe it's
like
that.
I want
it's...
TNG Picard, not this Picard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is very young Burnham. Maybe if this is I can't have Burnham and Giorgio. I can't do that.
No, that'll be bad.
Yeah.
I can't tell when this Burnham picture is from. It could be from more recent.
Yeah, who knows? All right, that was a fun exercise. Anyway. I'm glad we had roughly the same opinions.
Yeah,
which tends to happen. Welcome back to the show about Star Trek. The lead there was a little buried. We're going to talk about Discovery Season 2.
Yeah,
but before we do that,
we watched it. We watched a little bit of it. Hey, I posted on our Instagram that I was reading that Picard book. Mm-hmm.
Do you ever have the feeling that maybe they should make books into shows and movies?
Isn't that like a whole thing?
Or
Don't
maybe
they do that all the time?
Or maybe if you're gonna actually tell the story of the prequel to your mysterious beginning to a show in a book, maybe just film it. Because, buddy, does this explain a lot? And I'm not even done with it yet.
Are you saying that crucial context was missing?
Raffi, Picard, the Admiral Clancy, that you're kind of like, who is this person, and why does Picard like know her well enough to call her by her first name? And then she
just
like
figure that all the admirals and Picard, since he was an admiral, were friends or whatever.
So basically, like,
is she the one that swears?
She's the one that swears at him and is like, the effing hubris, right? That turns him down, and then eventually shows up on his ship later, and he explains everything that's going on. She's like, I'm sending a fleet. That woman.
Yeah.
And so it's kind of like the story of like, immediately the minute they figure out that the Romulan sun's going to go bye-bye, they contact Picard. Picard's still on the Enterprise, and they pull him in, and that kind of begins the story. So everyone's still like a captain and no one's an admiral. Like, they move him to admiral at the beginning of the book. So there's some cool stuff in there. Are you going to read it, or can I tell you some interesting things?
No, I'm not going to read it.
Okay. Worf gets the Enterprise.
Okay.
Yeah. Because Riker... They don't say what has happened, but I think that he has retired already or moved on. Because Worf is XO of the Enterprise.
Yeah, okay, so then, Riker either went and finally took a ship for himself after not doing it in the TNG episodes for 500 years, or whatever.
It's not quite explained exactly, as far as I can tell. I would have written it down. LaForge leaves the Enterprise to go to Mars to run the Mars shipyard. That blows up at the beginning of that show.
I see.
So I'm curious if they find a way to tell you how that fits into the canon of LaForge eventually being a captain.
What is he, a captain?
Yeah. Oh boy, memory alpha time.
I mean, according to who though? Like, is that shown up in a show or a movie or something? Uh-huh.
Yeah, it was in Voyager.
Oh. Okay.
I believe.
Haven't seen Voyager in a real long time. You could be right. I just don't remember.
I believe he ends up a captain in Voyager because they try to like send the message through or something, and then he's the one on the other side. Might be.
Okay.
I don't remember.
Anything is believable. I truly don't remember, and I don't care to look it up.
It might be an alternate timeline. It's a Voyager alternate timeline. Boo.
Got him.
Tricked.
In general, though, I feel like the engineering promotion ladder doesn't lead you into captain stuff. Yeah,
I agree.
You just become like ultra engineer level 7 or whatever, and then they just like put you in charge of a shipyard.
Raffi obviously is promoted to his executive officer. Her inner monologue is just as annoying as her outer monologue.
Wow, what a surprise.
Yeah, and there's cursing in the book too, which makes me really sad. And the last revelation so far is that we totally dropped the ball on Bruce Maddox.
We did?
He's the dude from the Data episode who tries to say that Data is Starfleet's property.
Oh, from the lawyer episode?
From the lawyer he's the scientist from the lawyer episode of Star Trek TNG.
So he's the other side of that argument there?
That's Bruce Maddox.
Wow. All right, well, screw that guy.
Yeah, I'm like, oh, he's dead. Okay, that's fine.
Nothing of value was lost.
Yeah. So it's interesting how... I have two questions. Well, what's her face? Girardi also has shown up in the book, so I'm going to start to see their relationship start budding, and maybe there's like the we're going to rehabilitate this guy. But my main question was, now knowing or remembering who that dude is, how on earth did Picard never mention to like Raffi or Rios or anyone else when they went to go look for Maddox that he was like, I don't know if I really want to find Maddox because I'm really pissed off that he tried to take Data apart.
I think that would have required the showrunners to remember episodes from the Next Generation.
Well, they obviously remember him. That's why they grabbed his name, right?
they seem to have done a bad job of remembering that show existed, and they really liked to tell you that they remember the movies, though.
Yeah.
Because if you watch...
It's all about the movie and what happened.
The movies are all about Picard and Data being best buds. And the show is not about that. And it's like very jarring to move from the show to this other show, which is actually like a continuation of the movies. That's how it feels to me.
I definitely get your feeling that they moved from the movies to this show, and that's accurate. I mean, the movies are
timeline-wise,
right? So but also, it's interesting that they didn't make a bigger point about like, hey, I know you didn't like Bruce Maddox, but... And then, that would have at least grabbed me to be like, why doesn't he like Bruce Maddox? And I would have looked it up. Okay. Disco Season 2 with
Said we were going to watch it. We eventually watched it.
Christopher Pike helming the ship. Not actually helming the ship. I got tricked.
Oh?
There's the opening to this season, and she's like, "Space, the final frontier." I was like, "Did they change the opening?" Yes.
I actually wrote that. I was like, "Oh man, new opening, rad." And then, no, not a new opening.
Can I blow your mind here for a second?
Go for it.
There's a prequel book for this season too.
I'm not reading that either. It's stupid, ridiculous. They have books. Get out of here with that. I'm watching a TV show. It literally follows directly after the other TV show. You could just write the TV show to be a TV show. You don't have to make a book out of it.
It's about why the Enterprise is all messed up. And what it's just
continuing mission. It continued. Yeah. I don't care.
It's just literally like the Enterprise sat out the war because they were doing this thing, and the Enterprise is all messed up for this thing. It's written by an author that I actually know and like, so I'll probably read it. So
they hand waved that early on enough that I was
sure
like, fine.
Did. They hand waved it hard.
It was like 5-year mission. We sat out the war. It's like, oh, okay.
5-year mission. We sat out the war. I'm pissed about it. The Enterprise broken. I'm taking over your cool ship. Like, oh, Article 19. Yep. I got it. Okay.
Yep.
All right. As we normally do during these episodes, we're going to walk through the episodes, make lots of comments, and say where we think things are going. I think that's the plan. Are you ready?
Let's do it.
All right, man. Season 2 opener. Pretty cool. Not sure I like the quote, moral authority. I sat with it since last season. Burnham says it again at the beginning of this season. Still kind of don't like it. So we start with here's the Enterprise, and Michael drifts off into a memory, which is her coming into the Sarek and Amanda's home and meeting Spock, who shows us he's human-ish.
Spock is a little a-hole, man.
You know,
what a jerk.
I mean, he always had that character where they say when he was a kid he really struggled with his emotions. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, dude, he's a little...
I get it.
Hello, son.
I get
Here's your new adopted sister.
Whose parents were murdered by Klingons.
I'm going to build a giant dragon and scare her and then slam the door in her face. Dang, man.
All right. This is like good writing of children because it's probably accurate, right? Like,
oh, look, totally believable.
Yeah, believable. I would think.
Yeah, absolutely. I just was like shocked at Spock being such a jerk. But, you know, I mean, it. He's a kid.
Yeah, and they keep the through line, right? Burnham's really worried about seeing Spock again for whatever reason. There's some sort of story about her and him not getting along, and that's fine. That's a good through line. I hope we'll see.
Yeah.
It's really funny though on the bridge there when like the Enterprise shows up and Sarek and Burnham are standing next to each other. And they both look terrified of like, oh no, Spock's here.
Yeah. Uh-oh.
What are we gonna do? There's a cool little throwback throw forward to Geordi's visor. I don't know if you saw that in the transporter room. The guy is wearing an early version.
Oh, that's cool.
Of Geordi's visor. Pike gets off the pad, and it's not Spock who's the science officer that's with him.
It's other guy.
It's Connolly, who is an instant
other
jerk
guy.
For no reason.
Yeah, it's like, what the heck, man? That guy also is just like throwing shade at everyone all the time.
Serious shade immediately. And that's,
he's literally just met all these people, and you're like, time to snark.
Yeah.
Like, what?
Well, they set
this isn't how workplaces work.
I guess,
no one does this.
I guess they set out the war. They're pissed about it. This guy, maybe he has a thing against Burnham or something. Like maybe that's why
something.
People might still be pissed at Burnham. Pike seems to pike it up immediately.
Pike is like folksy, man. This dude wants to sit on a porch and chew straw.
Hey, man.
And talk to you about the Lord and his
You
religions.
caught that too. I like that we both caught that. All right. We'll talk about that in a minute.
And he is like, did they only recruit starship captains for the Enterprise from Iowa or something? Is this like the rule? They have to be Midwestern?
Sure, fine.
I was just like, whoa, okay. I figured Pike was his own guy. No, Pike is just
French.
Yeah, it's like Pike is just like Kirk, but not.
I think that we're gonna find that he is not Kirk.
I agree that we will. I just the like mannerisms and stuff like really hit me. It's like, oh, this guy is like Folktown Midwestern dude. Like,
I ain't gonna blow smoke up you, but I'm taking your ship. It's like, oh,
sorry. I'm also gonna put my feet up on this console and tell you some stories about the good old boys.
Maybe not that far. The good old boys is a little, maybe not. The good old boys might not like Saru being around. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Not that part, probably.
Yeah, not that part. But he seems respectful, at least.
I thought he was a jerk, and then he's like, I understand, and he gives like a good like little like, I understand this is hard for you guys, and I know
Lorca took over your ship. I'm not Lorca. Let's go save some lives. That's why I'm taking your ship.
Yeah. And I was on board with him a bit more after that.
Yeah, I mean the Enterprise. I think at this point, they look at it, and everybody on the bridge is like, "Oh my god, it's so beautiful," The Enterprise has always been that ship where the captain of it is one of the, if not the most important captain in Starfleet, right? So,
right.
If he walks onto your bridge, you kind of just wait for it, and that's the cool moment, right? Where he walks onto the bridge, Tilly's all flustered, and his his file goes up on the screen, right? And he's just like, "Yeah, look, I got a
grade in astrophysics.
I got an F in astrophysics, but more importantly, I sat out the war, so let's go do some good." Yeah. So we're gonna track down some mysterious red pulsars that are also signals. Ooh,
MacGuffins,
whatever they are. Which they're connected, obviously. And then we're gonna go check it out. And he says his tagline, which is "Hit it, JJ."
Okay.
It fits the theme.
Was he gonna say that? Next, is he gonna say we're on a mission from God? Like,
JJ, don't give away season 2, JJ.
That's episode 2.
We clearly they are on a mission from God, right? Like that is happening in the background of this. And if this entire season is a reference to Star Trek V, I'm gonna love it. I'm gonna love it for how bold that is. If this is really truly connected, right?
I can't sigh loud enough for this microphone to pick it up.
Oh, okay.
But trust me, I'm doing that.
Okay. Stamets is pretty lost.
Yeah, man. Stamets is having a real bummer of a time, it seems.
I mean, he lost we assume to be his one true love, or he, in retrospect, has decided so. Right? It didn't seem that way when they were together on the show. He definitely didn't seem to care about that guy's feelings at all. I can't remember his name at this point.
Hugh,
that's right. Thank you. Rip other Hugh. But he seems pretty lost, and Tilly multiple times during these 2 episodes does not, and maybe this is part of her Asperger's or whatever, her attempts at empathy are not good.
Yeah, she seems bad at empathy. Yeah. It seems to be her character trait.
Which is funny because she appears like Stamets is kind of like, you're going to make a good captain someday because you seem to like people a lot. And it's like, yeah, okay, but she's got the wrong direction on her empathy.
Yeah, or she's just bad at applying it. Yeah, it's just Tilly is like the constantly socially awkward character.
Yeah.
I don't know if this is like a self-insert by the writers or something where they're just like,
I think it's an actress's actually self-insert.
I don't understand social situations. Hello.
Yeah, like, no, I think it's actually the actress is Asperger's, right? And so they've written that into her character.
Yeah. Whatever. You know, that is her thing. She is just like always the socially awkward penguin 100% of the time, which, yeah. I mean, you know, those people exist. So,
yeah, it gets a little tough in episode 2 when she's lost in her head, and I'm kind of just like, but we'll get there. Sarek just shows up in Burnham's room. They have an aside where he tries to be good dad.
The first time in history, potentially.
Well, yeah, like current Sarek's history, probably. Later Sarek is obviously like all the time good dad, which is weird to Spock or whatever.
Yeah. He gets like way into like feelings later in the
TNG, right?
Yeah. But we're not there yet.
All right.
And Burnham and Sarek's, I mean, the first season, their relationship was very strained as well. So,
yeah. I love this around the horn thing that Pike did, which is the next scene after this, where he takes over the bridge and he's like, all right, we're here. It's time to go on a mission. Everybody sound off with your name. And I'm just like, yes, finally I get to know the bridge crew's names.
Yeah, I know.
Because literally all of last season was like, Lorca hits the bridge and tells everyone what to do. I don't know who any of these people are.
And especially since they're starting to stick with like some of them, they're not just like rotating them out. You know, like the helm person is the same person.
Mm-hmm.
The person next to the helm person is now a named character
and goes on an away mission.
The android lady is now a named character. So like, yeah.
That was a good moment. I definitely watched it 2 times to try and remember a few of the names, just because it sounds like they're going to be more important than before, which would be good if we got a little spice. I don't think that's how magnetic fields work. So is my next note. So explain to me what they tried to do here with this asteroid. Because they find
like jumping past the whole thing, man.
No. So they get to the thing. Walk me through this, because I got a little lost here.
Do they know what they're doing here? No. Okay. This is the beginning of my problem.
They go to the signal.
Beginning. I don't know. There's a lot of problems. Yeah, they go to the signal.
All right.
And there's a big thing there.
Not the signal.
No, it doesn't seem. They get there. There's no signal, no pulsar, no whatever.
Right.
They
Where
get
there's
there,
supposed to be a red pulsar.
Yeah, none of that.
Okay.
But there's a really, really big asteroid.
All right.
Yeah. But the
asteroid is made of dark matter? Or the asteroid contains dark matter?
Something.
Okay.
That's not how dark matter works, but okay. Something. It's weird.
Mm-hmm.
And then they're like, well, this is weird. We need to go in closer to scan it. And then they detect a signal. A ship has crashed on this.
Or they just detect the ship? Or is it a signal?
There was a signal, or they detected life signs or something like that.
Okay.
Like, oh, there's a ship that has crashed on this asteroid. Now we must rescue them. Whatever this other mission was, we're doing this now.
Right.
Okay. So they're going to beam down there and go rescue them.
And there's like a tense moment where Pike gets really pissed off that everyone on the bridge is telling him he can't rescue these people.
Because it's dangerous.
Because it's dangerous and there's no way to do it. And then Burnham's just like, no, we were all just saying that so you'd know that we're geniuses when I have a solution. And it's like, oh, we got Burnham showing off again here.
Yeah. This show has a lot of Burnham showing off. I don't know. It just is what it is.
It seems like she's showing off, right? Like, because she waits to explain how hard something is before telling you that she already has the solution.
I was the initial test pilot of this magical device that we've never seen in any Trek ever before. And it's like this magical landing thing that you could just use a shuttle to do, but shuttles have engines that are going to cause an explosion or something. So we can't do that. So we have to make up something so we can have an action scene. That's what it is.
Yeah,
I really
this episode turned into like a CGI fest.
I really don't like this. Yeah, from here forward, I don't like it. I
like parts of it, but I was like, this could have been done differently. This could have been done. This becomes the Star Trek remake action scene followed by action scene for the sake of CGI and action scenes instead of taking a step back and being like, this season is about a mystery, and therefore we will pace this show more like TNG, which solves mysteries.
Yeah. They decided that, okay, there's a mystery. Who cares? We got to have a fight scene.
Yeah, but no fighting, right?
But no fighting. It's just like a tense action moment or whatever.
Right.
You know? Oh, no, someone dies. We have to... Everyone scramble.
I'm okay with the guy that dies.
Yeah. Look, I'm not mad.
And the other
about
person
it either,
just disappears from the show after that.
They're gone.
Okay, well, a couple people. Anyway, we'll get there. But yeah, I think I agree with you.
It's this
feels
to me like
for a
direction that someone saw an episode that they had written and then was like, all right, this script is okay, but we need to punch it up here and here by inserting gratuitous action scenes and take out all this story part and throw it away.
Like a bunch of people need to sit in pods and yell at each other on green screens for a little minute. And it's like, what? Why don't we just...
It's like, I imagine in my head canon, the script originally was they beam down there and then the story stuff happens down there and they're like, no, we have to put in a cool action scene.
Right,
instead.
Exactly. And also, like, they forget the first season where they had this exact same problem in the first episode of last season. And Burnham just shot down there in a spacesuit. Remember?
Yeah.
She just flies through asteroids in the thing. So why
they were going to need to be in a spacesuit? Why didn't they just do that again?
Why didn't they do that again? And
because they had to invent a cool action scene, Andrew.
Yeah,
come on.
This could have been. This moment could have been better.
Anyway, we're moving on.
Okay, I do like when they're pretending. First of all, the metallic space flight suits are ridiculous.
I wrote shiny jumpsuits. Why?
Yeah, I don't know. And they were color coordinated.
It looks real dumb. And it's like, silly. They happen to have ones with different colors to signify who was in what division or whatever. Yeah. That's definitely a thing that they would never, ever absolutely not do.
And that later Star Trek is definitely like, just spacesuits, man. The spacesuits.
Even the later ones.
They weren't in the first season.
Stuff.
Burnham doesn't wear a blue suit in the first season.
You're right. Even later when the like color coordinated thing is like way more of a thing.
Yeah.
They just have like
spacesuits.
A red stripe on a boot. Sure. That's the color.
Yep. Yeah, this was like gratuitous change of stuff. Although he does make the comment where to one of his officers where he's like, get your red suit on or red shirt on.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh no.
Yikes.
So
they get down to the ship.
Connolly blows up. On the way down there, there's a ridiculous I gotta save the captain moment on the way there for tense whatever.
For no reason.
Though we all know that nothing's going to happen to him in the first episode.
For no reason. They move on. They land on the ship.
USS Hiawatha, destroyed during the Klingon War.
Except apparently it wasn't. And there's this weird engineer lady
Jet Reno,
who has magically created robots to help do a bunch of it was a medical ship, I guess, right? So there was a lot of medical equipment lying around, and she has used these jury-rigged these robots to do a bunch of surgeries and crap for her, apparently.
Yeah.
To keep various people alive. Good on her, I guess.
A lot of people that were injured but couldn't be transported off or emergency escape podded off the ship, she decided to stay behind and try and save them, I guess.
And this has led to her being trapped on this asteroid for 5 years or whatever.
Yeah.
They don't say how long. It's not 5 years, I don't think. I think it's like a year or something. Anyway, a long time.
Yep. And then she just disappears from the show after this, I guess.
Yep, they rescue her and all these people. They beam them out somehow, even though they couldn't beam in.
Because they brought down pattern enhancers with them.
Oh, they brought the pattern enhancers,
and for some reason, the engineer hadn't fixed the transporter yet.
And the engineer couldn't get a pattern enhancer that they probably had on that chip. They didn't have any pattern enhancers,
but she made robots out of nothing.
Yeah,
whatever.
Cool.
Okay.
Anyway, they save her and all the people from there. Great. Now they're gone from the show.
Including
but Burnham gets stuck.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And because more CG fest.
We have to have more pointless action scenes.
I loved, though, that her doing hero mode of, like, I'm going to run on the asteroid ends with, like, nah, it doesn't work out. You get blasted from an explosion.
Yeah.
Which is funny. I thought it was funny. I laughed when she got hit from the side, and I was like, "Yeah, that probably
that is what would happen. That is what would happen. You're right.
You can't just go hero mode on an exploding asteroid."
And then she has a weird vision and then passes out.
Weird vision of what looks like an angel, which is actually.
I want to dispute this.
Okay,
I didn't really get very many angelic vibes.
I saw the wings for sure.
Okay. Yeah, I saw the wings.
I thought it was an alien that looked like Kerrigan.
I was going to say it looked like a Hindu devil to me.
Oh, okay. I just literally saw
mini
Kerrigan.
arms.
I was like, cool, Kerrigan's in the show.
Yeah, really weird. We'll talk about it more in the next episode.
Definitely Kerrigan.
Yeah, it's anyway.
The transporter then works again somehow. Pike grabs her and
then they leave.
Beam her out.
But they beam her out, but also she was trying to save a rock and then didn't do it.
Well, that's a big deal, actually. The rock won't transport.
So is that true? Did they ever say that, or is it just they were beaming her out and didn't realize they needed the rock?
She tells Tilly, because Tilly told her before they went down to the asteroid, hey,
to get a sample.
I'm pretty sure that rock is full of
magic energy,
dark matter, or some sort of weird energy.
She says dark matter, but yeah.
And then also it's connected to the mycelial network or something.
They definitely don't explain that at all.
Nope. And so you need to grab me a sample of the rock. She grabs it as she's being beamed out, and then it
falls through her hands.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Which means to them that they can't transporter it. So she brings a portable gravity generator,
which they have lying around.
Thankfully. Pike steps aside to let Saru spin the ship around and grab an asteroid.
Yeah. Then there was this whole asteroid catch part was monumentally dumb. Why did they do this? They have tractor beams and stuff. You can just do that.
Yeah, that's a big question, right? Because
and you don't
later
need
on,
this giant thing. Don't you just need a little one?
Yeah, so that's my question, right? Why did they pick the size they picked? There's a lot of questions about that once we hit season 2 or episode 2.
Episode 2, yeah.
And they couldn't use a tractor beam here, but they use a tractor beam in episode 2.
I'm
confused.
My point is that if all of this was like some kind of preordained thing, was what they kind of want you to think based on how episode 2 goes. You could have preordained this a little better, because there were a lot of places where you could have just been, let's just tractor in this tiny, small little chunk and be good. You know?
Yeah.
Open the cargo bay and move backwards and you pick up a few chips.
So why did she need to bring a sample from the surface? If they could have grabbed any of them, they could have done, Tilly could have been like, hey, Saru, while they're down there, can we grab one of these asteroids and put it in the cargo bay? And you'd be like, yeah, let's do that while they're down there. That's a good idea.
Yeah, well, you're not using these tractor beams.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mass in space, right? Even if it's that big of a deal and it's creating gravity and all that stuff that we try and find out later, the tractor beam could still move it, or you could just get in front of it.
Turns out it doesn't matter how big anything is in space. It doesn't really have weight, so who cares?
It has momentum.
Yeah, so that's the problem, right? Now, that's a problem, right?
That's the problem. Yeah. All right. Then we get another really jarring cut to Pike in Discovery uniform instead of his old uniform. And Burnham's just like, so you're staying on the ship. And then everybody's like, wait, what?
Yeah. I feel like this was a spot where like there was a speech there we didn't get to see.
Yeah, something got cut in between these two things.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like this. There was one short scene that got cut, and we don't get to see it, and so therefore it feels jarring. Really bummed me out. And then they're like, "Yeah, so you're staying on forever. You're the new captain, right?" He's like, "Yep, that's me. I did this."
Mm-hmm.
Well, let's go
for the duration of finding out what these other signals are.
Got to figure out this new big mystery that is our plot thing.
So I don't get the Enterprise anymore, so they gave me the second coolest ship in the fleet.
Yeah, well, I guess I'll trade this other ship for this cooler one, actually, that does cooler stuff. Don't worry.
Yeah. He does find a fortune in the office, and the fortune reads, "Not every cage is a prison, nor every loss eternal." Do you believe that to be about this season, or do you believe that to be about Lorca?
So the implication is Lorca left it there, so I took it to be about Lorca, but it's entirely possible they want you to believe that this is about this.
It could be about multiple things, right? Like,
it's definitely fits with like Lorca's thing of like he's trapped here on this side, right?
There's also, so that Lorca that would have left it there is dead, I would believe.
Now, yes.
But there's a chance that it could mean that the other Lorca is not lost forever. There's a chance that this is about Spock, because he is in a mental prison, as we find out.
You don't know at that
point. Right,
yes.
But this obvious is like written to be foreshadowing, but it's so general that it could be about a lot of things. And the other thing it could be is about Pike. Right?
Yeah.
He eventually becomes caged by his injury much later in his life. So it's
it is general foreshadowing.
General foreshadowing.
Yeah, I don't know how to like I think if we watch this whole season we could come back and have this discussion maybe, but
maybe. I don't know if it's like good enough foreshadowing. We'll see.
Very possible.
Spock isn't on the Enterprise, as we find out here at the end of the episode, but his log is, or his little etch-a-sketch, whatever you want to call it,
was sitting around with some really plot relevant information on it
that says Spock knew about the signals.
He was in on it.
Oh no! Since childhood.
I don't know. Yeah.
Whatever. 2 years before, she says, actually. I wrote it down. It's in the next episode. 2 years before.
Yeah, I was going to say, it didn't appear to me that he knew about it since childhood.
No. It's in the next episode. But let's just chill here for a second. My response to this first episode is, I like Pike, but this seems a little bit slapdash. And I don't know if it seems slapdash because the pace is different than Picard, where it took 5 episodes to get going.
I mean, look, Picard is bad in a separate, different way, right? So,
I don't know about bad, but
different. But like they did a bad job with parts of Picard, and that is one of the parts that we really disliked, and we talked about it. Like, the pacing was terrible.
What about this pacing?
So they definitely stuff happened.
Yeah,
which no one will argue that stuff didn't happen.
Okay.
Like I said earlier, like all the action movie stuff, like you don't need to have the action movie scene in a mystery thing, guys. It's fine. Like, don't.
It doesn't happen in the second season or the second episode mostly.
Yeah, and I like the second episode much better.
Yeah.
Go figure.
I agree. I feel like the episode 1 was literally like, how do we get Pike on the Enterprise and start this mystery, and they didn't really have a beginning. They have the middle and maybe the end. It was kind of
it felt to me like they were like, all right, Star Trek's been off the air for a while. We got to get people excited again. The only way we can get people excited is by having explosions and cool asteroid CGI stuff. No one will ever be interested in the mystery, so we got to have explosions. It's just like, no, the mystery is interesting. I want to know what happened to Spock.
I'm into that. 7 stars and Spock's all messed up. I'm into that. Let's just do that.
let's just do that. And then in the second episode, they do that. And it's better.
It's really good. Okay, so let's just get to that one since we both like it a lot better.
Yeah.
I'm into the second episode here. This is a good... This is flat out a good episode of Star Trek.
Yeah, like, this is what I want when I watch Star Trek. I like this stuff.
Yep.
They go to a planet. The planet has some weird thing going on. Something weird happens there, and they have to go down there. Down there, something happens.
Yep.
There's an interesting mystery or a conflict or something. The conflict happens. It resolves. They leave.
There is a General Order 1 quandary.
No,
There's a captain being a captain.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
command decisions have to be made sometimes, you know?
There's a good this is good Star Trek. All right. I have a question. Does Starfleet deciding that a mission is important in the 21st, 2nd, 3rd century actually overtake someone's privacy, right? Because there's a lot in TNG, this would have been an episode long question. Spock is in a mental institution.
Right.
But he requested that no one know it, which until now was honored, but now is not being honored because our mission is important. I don't know how I feel about that.
So here's my take on this. Pike has a job to do, right?
He definitely seems a mission-oriented man, yes.
And Starfleet told him, hey, here's the job. This is important. It's important enough that we're going to take you off of your ship and put you on a different ship.
Mm-hmm.
So he feels some level of urgency here.
He does seem to be the penultimate Starfleet officer. Right?
Yeah.
Like, he's as close as you can get.
Yeah, he's the guy. He is the captain guy. Like they made the book, you know.
Mm-hmm. And like the ultimate officer ends up being like some version of Picard, right?
Right.
But this
the
is
warrior,
this
poet,
is the
king kind of guy.
This is the forebear for that kind of captain to exist.
And I mean, you see a little bit of the philosophy. You see a bit of the the heavy wears the crown of command kind of stuff.
Yeah, he's got a little bit of it already, and I like that.
Yeah, I like it too. It's part of why this episode is good.
It really is. I
think my point here about this psych ward stuff is that, you can see from Pike's perspective, him being like, all right, new information has been brought to me that this guy who has these concerns has something to do with my mission now.
Yeah.
And before, when he didn't have anything to do with the mission, I'm going to just ignore.
I'm not even going to leave him alone or anybody else.
No, that's what he asked, right? Didn't need this.
Yep.
Not involved. Fine.
Yep.
Now all of a sudden it's related to my mission, and my mission is very important.
Yeah.
Sorry, Spock. Like, yeah, that's it's a good quandary, and the fact that he chooses to weigh it on a side that good or bad feels a little like it was a hard choice, then that's like what makes it interesting.
Okay. I like that before this episode even gets going, I have the next note in here is, LOL, I guess Pike is a Catholic.
Yeah.
Because there's a moment here
got some religion up in here
where he hints at the fact that he might be a religious man. And in in this era of Star Trek, there might still be people like that, right? That becomes a less Federation thing to be religious later on in this show, or in this series of shows. But he seems to have faith, and the way that it is expressed, I thought was like very Catholic of him.
Well, I was waiting for him later to say, and with your spirit, instead.
Bro, I wrote that down.
It's like, come on, dude.
The writer might be the writer's
version of it.
Yeah, they must be older Catholics, right? And so I think that was funny that I wrote that down such an early place in the episode, and then later on it's like, peace be with you, shows up. And I was like, oh, really? Okay, I got the right vibe. They get another signal.
So wait, isn't it before this where Stamets is losing it all the time?
Oh yeah, and then and
Tilly's trying to help him.
He doesn't really care. they don't really get too far into it until they realize that the signal's coming from the beta quadrant, and then they have the discussion about like, I can't get in the jump drive because I might.
Oh yeah, okay, you're right. They got the signal first. Yep.
Yeah, they get the signal. The signal's coming from 150 years away, if at maximum warp.
Yeah.
So, gotta spool up the spore drive, Stamets. Sorry.
Get back in the refrigerator.
I know, right? It's kind of funny that everyone's just like, get in the drive, Stamets. We don't care. But it happens. Black alert. Time to go.
Black alert, man.
Pike has another good line here. Where they're like, Saru's like, do you want us to explain the spore drive to you? And he goes,
kind of got to take this one on faith.
Yeah, basically he's like, hey, I'm the audience. Let's break the fourth wall a little bit. If you tell me that this ship runs on a highway of mushrooms, I kind of got to go with it.
Yeah, it's good.
Pretty good.
A highway of space mushrooms.
Yeah.
He's like, I just got to go with this one.
I just got to go with it. And I was like, yeah, all right, fourth wall, nice, good job. Be brave, be bold, and then they jump.
And then after the jump, Pike is like, ugh.
Yeah, you never forget your first time. And then Stamets really is just like done. He's like, I'm out of here. Please don't talk to me.
Don't talk to me.
Yeah. We find...
They get to this planet. It has these weird rings.
Yeah.
And then they find life signs on the planet.
I'm kind of...
Humans.
Can we pause? I'm kind of pissed that spore drive, I didn't realize it until just now while we were talking about the spore drive. I'm kind of pissed that spore drive ends up back in operation.
Yeah.
I thought we were done with the spore drive at the end of season 1.
No, I remember they regenerated all the mushrooms.
I remember that, but like I thought we were like just mentally done with it because it's such a
the Federation was like banning it, you know.
Yeah.
That was kind of the thing.
But it kind of breaks Star Trek every time a little bit they use it. For me, of just like, okay, but then like if we're bringing the spore drive back again, how come they don't bring the spore? I mean, obviously maybe Stamets dies at some point and they can't use the spore drive because they don't come up with this interface that Tilly's trying to create. Spoilers for the rest of the episode, but
yeah,
but obviously like it's her mission to create this thing. So unless they say later on in this show that like, no, it's impossible to create an interface without Stamets, it's really going to break.
Or they
Star
end
Trek
by blowing the ship up, right?
Yeah. Something's got to happen to this spore drive to keep it out of canon later on. And
it's almost this is like the problem with going back and making an episode in a show set back in the past of a series that goes into the future.
Right. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And not really getting into the canon of what's possible at that point. Anyway. All right, humans in the beta quadrant. How's that possible?
Whoa, this is crazy. No humans have been out here. This is wild.
I love this. The signal's coming from that structure, and then you get the second clue, maybe, that Pike knows what religion is. He's like, Burnham, that's a church.
Also, they knew it was a church. Come on. Like, even Burnham knows.
Maybe like, not. She wasn't raised on Earth, right? And she's very, very upset at people that seem to have religion. She's like, say that I'm a scientist and that I don't believe.
That whole scene.
Get
there. Hold on.
Okay, great. Okay. But that's a church. Looks like they're World War III descendants, they figure out somehow.
Yeah, magically. I want to know how this was determined.
What is your opinion on Pike's take of Clark's third law, which basically says advanced tech is indistinguishable from magic if you're not advanced enough to understand it?
No one ever said what he said. That's not a thing.
Well, whatever he made up to there then gets extended into E.T. is God, basically.
Yeah, so like he takes the advanced technology is indistinguishable from magic kind of like theory or rule, and then decides what this actually means is that advanced aliens are indistinguishable from God.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Clark's 3 laws are a real thing.
Yeah, I understand.
Yeah.
And, you know,
but they were written in 1910 or whatever.
Yeah, way, way a long time ago. when Isaac Clarke wrote those books. So why did he make this jump? I didn't understand, the purpose of that, like other than to show that he's a Jesus guy and knows about the religion,
knows about the Jesus.
Yeah.
Okay. So I kind of grabbed that too from there and thought, oh, that's a weird way to be like, look, telling you for a third time, I think he believes in God. I don't. Is the word Luddite pejorative?
So, I think
I don't like that term.
In normal society, I would say yes.
Because they say that what's her name from the bridge, and I've forgotten her name already, of course. Something. Oweskun?
Oh, yeah, something like that.
Oweskin?
Maybe.
Joe, they just call her Owo, I think. But they call her Owuskun.
Maybe.
That's it, Owuskun.
Maybe.
All right, anyway. She is important now because she's a quote unquote, I didn't make this term up, they used it, Luddite.
Okay. It's not, I don't think it's like racially insulting or something.
I don't think it's racially insulting.
Well, it's because it's not about race at all. But like,
it's not about race. It's about mental. It almost implies mental capacity to me.
No, the term means people that don't like technology, right? That's what the...
Yeah, but people use it so pejoratively, like, if you can't use a phone well, you must be a Luddite.
Yes, because in today's society, technology is so much... Okay. Yeah, like, you shouldn't have any Luddites. But in this instance, I think what they're trying to say is she grew up in a...
Without using,
society
like,
or whatever,
Amish
without
or whatever.
using... Yeah, like the Amish version of Star Trek or whatever.
Okay.
I didn't see it as like, oh no, they used a bad word here.
All right, like, okay. I just, I've only heard it pejoratively, and that it was very clearly in her memory alpha. It says she does not hold religious beliefs. Like, okay, yeah.
Which she says.
She says that in this episode.
Directly.
Yeah. Which is cool. I mean, it's cool that they wrote that in, that she grew up in a non-tech commune, because later on she's like, if I have a magnet, I can do this. Like we can break through this door. I'm like, oh, that's cool. All right. So Owuskun is what we're calling her. Uwu.
Anyway.
And Burnham for some reason. And Pike.
Star of the show, gotta go.
Yeah. Pike become the away team on it's
a
General Order
society.
1 blend-in mission.
I don't like that they call it General Order 1. Why isn't it the Prime Directive?
Because
Prime Directive is better.
Maybe it's kind of new at this point. Like General Order 1 is new. They don't have General Order 1 when Archer's around. Archer creates General Order 1. So it's only been X years.
I mean, I guess
it hasn't become Starfleet's guiding principle yet.
I guess. I feel like by the time Kirk is on the Enterprise, they've ignored all of the General Order. Anyway,
every captain ever in every Starfleet show,
all of them ignore it all the time.
The Prime Directive.
You're right. I just like the name, the Prime Directive, better than General Order 1.
But it's what some of the reason you like it so much is it's delivered by Jean-Luc Picard. The Prime Directive, and you're like, oh, okay, got it.
Sounds good.
I know, but like, I don't
General Order 1, and you're just like, I'm asleep. I fell asleep because this is a boring regulation.
He would not deliver on the Prime Directive as well as General Order 1. I'm just saying, he seems like a General Order 1 kind of guy.
It doesn't sound folksy enough. He'd be like that order there at the top of the book. That would be his thing.
All right, but he definitely is not a like. In Iowa, we don't got no directives, and something Prime had better be steak.
That you might be right about that.
You know what I mean? I only want my only Prime is steak. That's it. That's Pike.
He would say that.
All right, they go down to a church, The church has a lot of cool stained glass that is obviously created to tell the story of the people that have come here and created new religion from old religion.
I like they're looking through this book, which is clearly like a bunch of newspaper articles repasted together to make like some kind of a scripture or something.
Yeah.
And they're like, what could this be? It's like, dude, come on.
Yeah,
it's really obvious what this is. Like,
well, Pike's the only one, right? He's the only one.
Not even the religious aspect of it. They're just like, what have they done with these books? It's just like, they took a bunch of newspaper articles and clipped them together. This isn't hard.
Yeah.
Like, and then he's like, let's look at Pike's like, let's look at the windows, because the whole point of windows is to teach the non-believers. It's like, okay, we get it. You're religious.
Yeah. Yeah. It starts to hit home that he grew up religious, right? Until obviously it's obvious to us because somebody says peace be with you to him once they get found out, right? They get found out.
Yeah.
They got to play along, and Pike knows one of the responses to peace be with you.
Yeah.
Maybe by
maybe they do it different in the Northern Territories.
Hold on. Maybe by 2053 they've gotten rid of back. The "and with your spirit," and they go back to also with you, which is better.
You're right about that. But
I know, and also with you.
Okay.
Well, clutch save there, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I like the idea that they at some point in 2131, the Pope is like, actually, that other Pope was wrong. Yeah. Let's undo this and go back to the other thing.
I like it. Tilly gets injured trying to cut apart the rock and bangs her head real hard.
She cray. This seems like a bad idea.
Saru basically tells her that was the dumbest thing you've ever done.
What? This asteroid's super dangerous or whatever. She goes and shoots a laser at it for a while because we need it.
Mm-hmm.
Seems like a bad idea.
It does, and it lands her in sickbay where she gets yelled at by Saru and meets May.
Yeah.
Who, instantly, you can tell is weird.
Yeah. Something off about that character.
Right.
But she seems to get along with Tilly.
She does. It appears to everybody that the Red Angel seems to be sending Discovery to do stuff, generally to save people, right? They save the people on the ship, and so they're trying to figure out what thing they need to do to save people.
We skipped over it, I guess. The planet has a magical problem now.
Oh, yeah. So that's the thing, right? They were trying to figure out what they're supposed to be doing here. And in the moment where they're trying to figure out what they're supposed to be doing here...
Right after they teleport down,
the planet has a problem. And
magic radiation rings that have been there the whole time
are going to cause an extinction.
Are going to cause a big life-ending event on this planet.
Mm-hmm.
Also, the radiation is good and prevents the transporter.
I would say when General Order 1 becomes the Prime Directive, maybe you would not be allowed to interfere with this kind of thing happening.
And in fact, I believe there are episodes of Star Trek about this very thing. Sorry, we have to let your planet go extinct because that's what would happen here.
Sorry, we can't interfere.
Pretty sure there was a Voyager episode about this exact thing.
Maybe General Order 1 is not yet the Prime Directive, right?
Anyway, sorry.
But they decide they're going to step in because they've got the asteroid that our friends went to go get, and our friends are down there, so we got to go do a space donut and slingshot the little asteroid, which has gigantic mass because it's full of dark matter. And it'll
use
take
it to pull all these other radiation away.
Yeah, and hopefully they didn't shoot it through the rings of the planet where it would grab all the debris from the rings also and cause more problems.
This is not, gravity does work this way, but also it doesn't. So, if there was enough gravity going on to force the little rocky
space donut,
little rocky bits to fall to the planet, then you would actually be pulling the planet towards the asteroid too at the same time. And so that would be like probably really bad.
Maybe
like, you probably just caused a tsunami and murdered everyone down on the
maybe the planet's full of dark matter.
Andrew. Yeah. Look, they don't think very through. As we have seen with
Space Donut,
they have really decided to like use the science in the like hand wavy way that Star Trek does sometimes, but only in the hand wavy way. They're not ever going to use actual science here.
To be fair, at some points later in Star Trek, you just get technobabble, and it's like,
they do, absolutely,
and it's 100%. Like we have to spend 30 minutes explaining that our technology won't allow us to do this, when you could just say, that's not the way it works, Captain, we can't do that. And so there's a split difference to be found, and they're on the other. They're on one side of it.
Overload with the graviton pulses, so we can't modulate our shields that way, Captain.
So there's two different sides of that, and we haven't found the.
I like the other side better.
Okay, that's fine. That's fair.
But yeah, whatever. Anyway,
just know what you're getting.
Yeah, they get.
I think it's really cool that we're on some sort of mystery train that somebody's obviously controlling.
Yeah,
because they went and got an asteroid that now all of a sudden they need at part 2 of the quest.
Right. It is going to be interesting to see how many episodes. I guess probably 5 more based on how this is going. How the random pieces
right, because now they don't leave this planet with anything other than understanding that the Red Angel took people from Earth, right? Like they don't well, hold on, let's
like finish the episode. Sure. They get found out by the guy who was very clearly like
descended from scientists
or something, the skeptic guy or whatever. They tell him like, look man, we can't, I don't know what you're talking about, you're wrong. And then he knocks them out and steals all their stuff to go talk to the head priestess lady. And then Pike has to give Burnham and Owala whatever which is not that's a bad anyway, sorry.
Her first name's Joanne.
I love Joanne. Joanne and Burnham are talking like, look, the rule matters, okay?
Yeah.
Trust, you can't just not do it, Burnham. I'm looking at you here.
Giving you an order, Burnham. Don't break General Order 1. Don't do it.
Okay? And she's like, yes, Captain. And then, they go and they're like, look, hey, this has been, this is the ancient navigation device that's been in my family.
He stole our stuff. Look, let's focus on the important thing. He stole our stuff.
Yeah, he stole our stuff.
Is your religion going to allow that?
Yeah, come on. He stole it from me. This is mine. Yeah. And you got to respect the possession being 9/10 of the law.
Right. But it's in your book.
It's in my stuff. Yeah. So, and then the classic kid playing with guns.
Yep. Pike takes a phaser to the chest.
Gets shot.
Because he jumps on the grenade, basically.
Yeah, it must have been set on blow up with 3 mode. Presses or whatever.
Mm-hmm. Look, phasers don't have safeties, apparently.
I mean, I guess they invent that later.
Yeah, whatever. They run to the church and beam out.
Yeah. They were raptured, Andrew.
They were raptured. The prayers were answered.
Yeah. Okay. That's the whole thing. And then
clearly
at the end,
we find out that this person that calls her Stilly, which we already knew this person was weird, is weird because
she's in Tilly's head.
Yeah,
and in Tilly's head.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. My question about that is, do we have a Q on our hands?
No.
No? Okay.
That would be I think no, because that would be more fun than this show has proven to be in the past.
Okay. Well, there's different cues, though, so it doesn't have to be the fun cues.
You're right. It could be. I don't know. I would love the answer for this to be a cue. That would be great. So
to end the show, we get the discussion about
Burnham and Michael.
Yeah,
Burnham and Michael have a little discussion about General Order 1 and what's going on. And
there's a really good callback to season 1 in this discussion. Did you hear it?
Maybe.
So Lorca told her context is king. There's a scene in the first season where she says we shouldn't be doing this, and he says it's all about context, Burnham. and context is king. And in this, I guess they told Anson Mount, the actor who does Pike, to mimic the delivery, because she says, well, what about all this Red Angel stuff that I didn't tell you about, that you told me to tell you everything and I didn't, but now I'm going to tell you because I trust you. And he says, well, it provides me more context, and he gives a big pause where I'm like, is he going to say context is king? And he doesn't. He says context can alter our perspective.
Yeah. Okay. I didn't get the callback there.
Yeah, that's a really good callback.
It explains why there was that pause, because I was like, this is a really weird delivery of this line.
It's exactly Lorca's delivery of "and context is king."
Got it. That explains this scene a little better to me.
Mm-hmm.
So
that's the definition of trying to say we've got a new captain. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And then he goes and does the break General Order 1 thing.
Yeah, kind of, right? Like he's basically
he super does. Like,
yeah.
He goes to he does it instead of beaming down in front of the whole congregation and being like, "We're saving you, savages." He doesn't do that. But he beams into the basement of the church and tells the guy who he was probably pretty sure was there, like, here's what's up, and yeah, you were right, and
here's a power cell,
stuff. But here's a power cell. I need this camera. Yeah. It turns out he didn't need that camera because Burnham could have drawn a picture for him and it would have been the same. He didn't know that.
I didn't think about that, but that's true. That's true. I wouldn't call it an angel, but it was beautiful.
Maybe Burnham doesn't have very good artistic skills. We don't know.
Oh, she could use that little etch-a-sketch of Spock's.
Yeah, but like,
I'm calling it
not
a good artist from now on.
It's not if she's not an artist, she's not going to draw anything good. It'd be like asking me to draw a picture of that angel. I'm just going to have like some sticks. It's not helpful.
Yeah. Okay, I like this. This was a good episode.
So it was a good one. Yeah, it was a good one. Some of the most fun I've had watching Discovery thus far, except for some of those really ridiculous Terran Empire episodes.
Dude, the Terran, I mean, it's going to be hard to top those, but we're on a good track here. We'll see.
Yeah,
I like Pike.
I'm interested in this mystery.
Yep.
I am dismayed that it will probably take 5 more episodes to get to the bottom
if we ever get there.
Yeah, maybe they just give up on it at some point, yeah.
I'm assuming we have to go find Spock at this point because they're going to get lost or not know what to do next.
I mean, it seems like Spock is involved, so we're probably going to have to find him.
Obviously, we're going to have to use the spore drive more. I don't quite like that, but I am curious to see where the mystery is going. It's a good enough mystery that I don't have the answer yet, so that's a good thing. And I don't know. Where do you think... I mean, not like where are we going, but like... What do you feel like is coming this season in terms of like where the universe is at, that kind of stuff? I think we're going to see the Klingons again.
Yeah, they've already shown in like Next On stuff.
Oh, okay. I don't watch that stuff.
So I usually do. But, I like the teaser in the same way that when I was watching these shows week by week, I would get the teaser of what's happening next week because then I forget the teaser by the time next week rolls around anyway.
Oh, okay. Well, I've stopped watching those like midway through Lost, I think, because like I would know what was going to happen and then it would bum me out. So
Lost in particular is bad because that show is only mysteries and no solutions to any mysteries.
And you'd see like, oh, that character that was in danger is right there in that scene. Great.
Don't watch Lost.
Okay,
that's the solution to this problem. Anyway,
don't watch.
So it's fine. So I'm pretty sure. Look, here's some stuff you could have known already. The
Spock's coming.
The characters that were the Klingon characters and Spock are cast in this show. So like they're going to be
say, even if you didn't know they were still cast in this show, they spent too much money on those costumes. The Klingons.
Those Klingon costumes looked expensive. They're coming back. Yeah, exactly. So, plus several main-ish characters from the last season haven't shown up yet. So
I'm a little sad you shot down my Q theory so fast. I was going to go through it, but...
I love the idea that, look, Qs are fun and interesting in that, like, they let you do whatever you want.
Right.
Which this definitely is a whatever you want kind of thing.
I just kind of want it not to be the same thing we had in Picard, where the intergalactic mystery is going to be some sort of monster from the other side or something.
Oh, well, I absolutely want that. I don't want that to be the intergalactic. Yeah, that's bad.
Right.
Yes, I don't want that either. Also,
and tying this show to something that we know exists or that can control this type of. Why are the pulsars disappearing every time we get somewhere? It would be to me a Q kind of thing.
So I wonder, maybe this is like it feels like there's something going on. Is this like a time travel thing? Is there a Q thing? Is there a, ancient alien kind of thing? I don't know. Something weird's going on here, though.
Yeah. I mean, I'm guessing they're going to do the thing where the Red Angel is going to get explained.
I mean, it feels like they're going to have to explain it. They've made it a relatively central point of 2 full episodes, so they will have to explain it eventually.
One would hope. I don't know if you can say hope. I would like
you can say hope.
I would like it to be a more mysterious answer than what I'm guessing it will be, because Burnham's character is always kind of led the show, and the show then reacts by being like, everything has an explanation. And so something that is this mysterious, maybe the mystery can be solved of like who sent the signals and why, but the Red Angel stays kind of like, what was that thing? Like, that could be cool. I'm not saying that's the way it should go. We're too young into this series to know.
Yeah.
But I like the idea that there's this like mystery do-gooder running around. That's appearing like an angel because it could be something akin to a Q or not.
Yeah, like I said, I'm interested, I want to see where it goes. I just don't have a lot of faith in the writers. I think that's my issue. Like they have proven to me in some instances that they are willing to do stuff I don't like.
Yeah.
And I hope that I'm wrong. And maybe that it turns out good. I think that's my hope.
Okay. More hopeful than last 2 episodes into a show, because we were so confused about Klingons.
Yeah, to be fair, like the first, and I think we both agree, and we talked about this when we did the first season of Discovery. First few episodes of Discovery are rough.
They are jarring and rough.
And it takes a while for that show to get watchable.
It definitely has. This one definitely has a voice that one didn't have, because we've got a season of the crew together. So sometimes in this early 2 episodes here, there's definitely like we're the Discovery crew, man. Just back off. Like we got this under control, Pike.
Yeah. I wish that there was more of. I guess I don't know. It's only been 2 episodes, and one of them was pretty good, and the other one
was
less
slapdash and introductory.
Yeah. So if there's a lot more of stuff like this episode, I think I'm going to end up being relatively positive on this series or this season.
If we're in Britain, it's called a season, so it doesn't. Our season or series, yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, we'll see how it gets to. I guess I guess we're gonna have to watch more episodes, Andrew. I guess that's the thing.
We're gonna keep doing watching. That. Okay. Well,
I guess.
So
sorry.
That's your That's your Disco season 2 episode 1 Subspace transmission / crew quarantine / Picard book intro.
Love it.
I'm gonna keep reading that Picard book. I'm going to have a feeling it's going to be more and more of like, why wasn't this in the show? Why wasn't this in the show? And that's fine with me. That'll keep me reading. That's not fine with me that it wasn't in the show. It's fine with me that it's in a book that I can read.
The same reason why I don't like reading the books of movies and stuff.
Absolutely.
Is they have these lore Bibles, right?
Yeah.
For all of these kinds of movies and these shows and stuff that explain everything, because they have people whose literal job it is to do this.
They print them. There's a Star Wars encyclopedia that explains so much stuff from those 3 recent movies that never made
any sense.
Yep.
And then you're like, oh, well, like, why did this make no sense on the screen? It's like, well, because they didn't want to explain it.
They didn't explain it. And I just found out.
And then the answer is now buy a book and then explain it? No, I refuse.
Yeah.
Because you should explain it in the damn movie or the damn show. The whole point is I don't want to go read your supplementary stuff.
You and
Get out of here,
buddy.
Make a thing that's good. Instead of making a garbage thing and then selling an add-on to fix it later. Get out of here with that.
You and I, have been friends too long, my friend, because we're going to talk about this on the next main pod because I found out some stuff about Star Wars on another sub pod coming to.
Oh, is this the thing about that everyone found out that what's her name was the daughter of the other guy?
Oh, no, buddy.
That made me super mad.
Do you want to know who Anakin's father is?
Sure.
Okay, go read comic books that are canon.
I'm not doing that.
We can talk about it on Monday.
Okay, I was just wanting you to tell me, but
well, I gotta save it. I guess
on Monday.
This is the teaser. First of all, it's a teaser for. There's going to be a Star Wars sub pod for this pod, by the way. We're working on that, and teaser number 2. Go back to the main podcast on Monday.
Well, Wednesday when it comes out.
Yes, sorry. Right, exactly. Hey, lead us out here, buddy. Where should people contact us?
Hey, if you want to talk to us for really any reason, you can find us, email us, podcast@weweregamers.com. We will read this email, and we will talk with you and maybe talk about it on the show, depending on what it is.
Yeah,
we are also on...
Email us. If you put Star Trek in the title, we'll talk about it on the Star Trek thing.
Yeah. Or if you're just email about Star Trek, we'll just end up talking about it here.
That's true. Or
this is where we talk about Star Trek.
Exactly.
Also, we're on social media. We're on @WeWereGamers on Instagram and YouTube and Facebook and all those places. You can follow us on any of those. It would be nice if you did that. Subscribe to our channel and watch our videos or whatever. But hey, we're on all the places you can find this podcast. Do that.
Rate, subscribe, do the thing, and we'll be back with more disco next month.